Esteemed members of the Colonization Council, for those of you who do not recognize me, my name is Caldezares, the chief architect for the colonists aboard the ship Agawan. It is my sad duty to report to you that the ship suffered a catastrophic warp drive failure while en route to the colony system and prematurely exited warp. With no idea where we were and on a collision course with a planet, the captain managed to avert complete destruction of the ship upon impact. However, the resultant crash completely destroyed the bridge, leaving Lieutenant Victreso on the auxiliary bridge as the sole surviving crew member. Fortunately, most of the cryopod chambers survived the crash. Unfortunately, Leader Wenders was destroyed. The other colonists have elected me the new leader. Since most of our consumables and all of our construction supplies survived the crash, I made our first order of business the creation of a reactor to power our new settlement. The planet we crashed on is lush and bountiful, much preferable to the toxic windstorms of our original destination, resulting in high morale. With the reactor now online, we have plenty of power to start making a home for ourselves here on the planet we're calling Wendworld. Commander Krask of the Palace System Defense Forces. My name is Lieutenant Victreso, sole surviving crew member of the ship Agawan. By now, the Colonization Council has received Leader Caldezares' preliminary report and informed you of our disaster. The colonists seem happy to be on a planet that seems more suited to survival than the one they were expecting. One thing I've learned in my travels and xenosurvival training is that every planet has unexpected dangers. Last week was an excellent example. A party of foragers found a large deposit of cobalt in the side of a mountain. In their zeal to begin mining, they failed to take proper safety precautions, and the whole party ended up falling into a deep ravine and getting stuck. I had to lead a rescue party to save people who wouldn't have needed rescuing if they had only followed normal safety protocols. Head Scout Elisonda was very helpful in leading the rescue party to the stranded foragers. When we returned, I convinced Leader Caldezares we needed to build exocraft hangars. Under my command, the colonists have begun construction of 4 interconnected hangars to hold our various exocraft. Esteemed members of the Colonization Council, I am happy to report that the colony is starting to take shape. After the reactor came online, I listened to the exhortations of Lieutenant Victreso and had the colonists build exocraft hangars. Everyone pitched in and we had them built very quickly. The colonists did a wonderful job making them both functional and decorative. Our next planned construction is a cultivation center, so we can start growing plants from home, help the colonists feel less homesick. The foundations went in over the last few days. Today I decided to explore the water around our colony with a couple xenobotanists and see if there is any indigent plants we can add to our cultivation center. Wait, what's that down the tunnel? By the Atlas, it's a structure! Are we not the first species to inhabit this location? The building has partially collapsed, but it looks like we can enter from the front. Colonization Council members, my name is Elisonda. Until 2 days ago, I was the head scout of the colony. About a week ago, Leader Caldazares and several others decided to explore the waters around the colony. When they were still gone the next morning, I started searching for them. After searching for most of the day, I found a building underwater. Inside the wrecked building, I found beds with growths around the head of the bed, pulsing in a very creepy way. To my horror, one of the beds in the back had a colonist in it. They wouldn't wake up no matter how hard I shook them. I swam up the stairs and found Leader Caldazares and the others also unconscious in the beds again, not waking up no matter how hard I shook them. I guessed I could carry each one back to the colony. But when I removed the first colonist, they began twitching and shaking like crazy and was dead within minutes. It was nearly nighttime and there was no way I was going to stay in that creepy underwater building in the dark. So I went back to the colony to tell the others what had happened. I'll be damned if in the next morning, Leader Caldazares and the others returned to the colony. They was all very quiet, talked on a little, only when you asked them a question direct-like. They didn't seem violent or dangerous, so we decided to allow them to stay. But nobody wanted to take orders from Caldazares anymore. For some reason, the others picked me to be the new leader. This were 2 days ago, and as the sun fell, Caldazares and the others began to go back to that underwater ruin. Me and a few others tried to convince them to stay with the colony, accidentally getting twixt them in the water. This was the only time they showed aggression, attacking us like wild animals, but they stopped once we moved and let them go back to the ruin. That was kind of freaky, so the next day we stopped construction on the cultivation center and started construction on a barracks to give us somewhere more secure to sleep. The following day, I did some more searching around our crash site, and I found another ruin. This one didn't look nearly as creepy. It was above the waterline, in some caves to the northeast of the crashed freighter. The barracks are now finished, the entrance secured with a power door that's operated from the inside. I'll try to get another report to you within a week or so. Greetings, Commander Krask. I'm sure Leader Elisonda's report has reached the Colonization Council, and they have passed it along. While an excellent scout, I think Elisonda is too trusting of the possessed. I have convinced him to authorize the construction of a crane on the edge of a cliff near the barracks. I told him it was needed to clear debris for further colony construction, but it will also provide an excellent vantage point for enfilading fire on any assault on the barracks. This may seem a bit extreme, but the possessed colonist's behavior has already changed completely. Who knows how it might change in the future? For example, every morning we wake to find that the fools have returned in the night and taken apart some of our construction from the day before, only to reassemble it elsewhere into pointless shit. Morale is still high among the colonists. They have completed the cultivation center as well as a mess hall. My gut is telling me that the possessed colonists mean us ill and are simply biding their time. Consider this message my formal request that more warriors than normal accompany the next wave of colonists. Even if my gut is wrong, I will be more comfortable with extra fighters, since colonies always attract pirates. members of the Colonization Council. After completing the cultivation center and mess hall, I thought everyone could use some fun, so we built ourselves a beach party spot. The colonists built the structure, while the possessed built their sculptures as decoration. Hopefully, this will lead the colonists and possessed to work closer in the future. We also finished building the crane suggested by Lieutenant Victreso, and it has proved to be a wonderful idea. Now the crane is done, we will be able to clear more ground around our barracks and mess hall. Once the area is cleared, we can start building more rooms for the second wave of colonists. I am very proud of all the surviving colonists. We cheated death, survived a terrible landing, and made ourselves a great home on a beautiful, lush world. Respectfully, Leader Elisonda. Commander Krask, this is Captain Decree of the colony ship Muander Mog. I am sending this message with the tightest encryption and via the fastest courier available. I am not entirely sure if all this caution is warranted, but I have never encountered a more perplexing conundrum than the one that confronted me on my arrival at the colony on the planet named Wendworld. We began standard contact protocols upon dropping out of warp, but received no response during our approach to the planet. The complete silence was unexpected, so I decided to accompany the initial landing party down to the site of the Nakata's crash and colony founding. I have seen all the communications the colony sent both yourself and the council, so I was prepared for the site of the wrecked Nakata and the structures around it. What I was completely unprepared for was the total and complete lack of any actual colonists. We landed at the landing pads and made a complete sweep through the whole colony. Not a soul to be found. There were no signs of struggle or flight. The mess hall still had plates with food on them. The crane appeared to have been abandoned in mid-operation. I then had the sickening thought that maybe they had all been possessed, so I ordered an armed reconnaissance of the underwater ruin that reportedly held the beds. We found the beds just as they were described, but they were all unoccupied. Still no sign of the colonists. I ordered searches of the other ruin, but it was also deserted. Then a scout party found another ruin, much closer to the colony than either of the other two, and this ruin had a reactor adjacent to it that closely resembled the one above ground at the Yan colony designed by Caldazares. This reactor wasn't present in any of the previous videos sent by colony leadership and had growths on it that are obviously related to the ones around the beds. In the morning, I plan on starting search parties running in concentric rings outward from the wreck. I will continue to update you with anything I find, but thought you should know about the colonist's disappearance as soon as possible. Like I mentioned, I don't know if this presents an immediate unknown danger, or if it's going to turn out to be a silly mistake in directions. But I wanted to err on the side of caution, and send you the information as fast as possible. Look for daily updates from me from here on out. Hey everyone, Henry Silver here, and I wanted to just take a minute and say thank you for watching my video. I had a lot of fun making this, and if you'd like to see more story builds, let me know in the comments. In case you missed it in the description, this build is dedicated to all the programmers at Hello Games, especially the ones working on their build pieces. Their attention to detail is amazing. The hardest part of any build is deciding what pieces to use. And so for this build, I decided not to choose. That's right, all 682 build pieces currently available to console players are present in this build. Some more than others, but there's at least one of everything in the build. So thank you, everyone at Hello Games. This build's for you.